2 races to go in the All American ARCA Series. And we go out west one final time to Phoenix Raceway, Avondale, Arizona, just to the south and west of the city. as we hit this 1 mile gem in the desert, where tonight we could crown ourselves a champion, or we could go to Homestead with more than one person battling for a championship when it is all said and done. As we welcome you into Phoenix Raceway, tonight's race number 13 of this All American ARCA Series in the Desert Heat 250. That's an interesting name, but it works. I like it. Casey comes up with creative names. I totally understand it because it's hot in the desert, and well, that's just the way it goes. Round number, as I mentioned, 13 of this All American ARCA Series. 78 degrees, 55% humidity under partly cloudy skies with 4-mile-an-hour winds here at the Phoenix Raceway. Again, 250 kilometers, 156 laps, 3 sets of tires around this 1.017 mile oval. Well, oblong oval, if you will. Got a little dog leg there after the start-finish line as we get ready to rock and roll. Let's take a look at the point standings as we enter the race this afternoon or evening. Matthew Weeks leads by 31 entering tonight's race. David Tooker right there, and it's Casey Carrington 115 back. He is pretty much eliminated. It's down to a two-man show, but anything could happen. If something happens to Weeks in the race, you just never know. So we just got to keep our eyes open and be aware, but it is a Mountain Man Motorsports show right now up at the top. Of course, they're 1-2-4 right now in the standings. Zach Rogers still trying to get that first win of the season after winning the championship last year. Obviously got a little bit of work to do there. As I said, Mountain Man Motorsports, one-man show, 519-point lead entering the race tonight. So they've almost doubled up the competition, literally. As a matter of fact, let's put the Porsche Pensport and Crew Chiefs Corner Motorsports teams together. That comes out to 1,059. They are 3 points short of Mountain Man Motorsports. That's how dominant it's been in the season. So, yeah, that's what we got here. Now, we also got a battle in the rookie standings. And, of course, this one is more done on paper. I'm not going to show this one because it does have some updated standings in there and things like that. But I will tell you that it is a very close battle right now amongst those drivers in that battle. Manufacturer-wise, Chevy leads Dodge by a very slim margin right now. Going in, Toyota's right there, all three of them within 6 points coming in, and should be a pretty tight battle on that point. As for Rookie of the Year, it's about a four-man show right now. Josh Dillon, Trey Holmes, Robert Colgan, Tyler Burden right now. Those guys battling for the championship. Dillon does lead as we enter this evening's race here at the Phoenix Raceway. Of course, it's tonight here at the 1 mile oval, and then after that we go to the Homestead Miami Speedway for the final race next Friday night. And again, tonight an opportunity for a champion to be crowned in the series, but obviously that's why we run the race, so who knows what really could happen when this is all said and done here this evening. As we take a look out there, cars are on track, just kind of going through their warm-up session right now. Qualifying is all over with. Trey Holmes right now at the top here as they're out running laps here. Let's get you some car audio as we get you set up for the race. Side note, I should say, like to do other things while I'm broadcasting, and today obviously being Saturday, it's college football day, and I just watched Pitt score on the first play of the game on defense. That's odd. Anyways, I look down and I see a pick six. I'm like, well, that's quick. One of those that escalated quickly. So Phoenix, obviously, get off my screen. A track favorite for a lot of drivers. Well, I should say a lot. I should say it's about 50-50. A lot of people hate it. A lot of people like it. I personally like it. It's a very tricky track to run. But it's one that if you can learn how to maneuver around and things like that, then it becomes a very fun track. But you obviously go down through that dog leg you see on the far side of the screen, down a straightaway to turn one, which is banked at 9 degrees, more of a sweeping corner, 1 and 2. Then you go down the back straightaway, you see pit wall there on the inside. That'll be one of the trickier spots here on the track to talk about. Down the back straightaway into turn 3 and 4, which is actually banked at 11 degrees. And more of a tighter radius corner. And we should be about finished up with the 5 minutes of warm-up here. About a minute or so left. And we'll see how everybody's running here right now in practice. Zach Holmes leading the 17 cars that have went out there and ran a lap so far. 27:45 there. Trey Holmes, John Kreidler, Justin Vandermerel, Austin Bloom right now, your top 5. So fuel should be, it's 80%, should be, what, about 60, 65 laps, I would think, on a tank. So looking like probably about a 2-stop race when it's all said and done. Haven't heard anything about substitutes or... I paused because in 15 seconds, Pittsburgh has scored 2 touchdowns on pick sixes. Anyways, alrighty then. What was I going to say? So, 2-stop strategy and that kind of thing. I haven't heard anything about driver subs or anything like that, but we do have some different names in the field tonight, so we'll talk about that and so on and so forth. As we take a look at the starting lineup here for this Desert Heat 250, Mark Whitley will start on the pole with a 27-1. Zach Rogers looking for that first win of the season, the champion from last season, will start there in the second spot. Jonathan Cutlip, the rookie, having a great couple of races here. Last couple of weeks, he'll start next to James Silvers. Last week's winner, finally getting off the schneid, if you will. Jonathan Cutlip, he'll start next to, Finley Fitzsimmons starting next to Tyler Burton. Austin Bloom, Trey Holmes continuing with the rookies up there 7th and 8th. They'll start in row 4. Alex Carr, Sean Cassidy, row number 5. Row 6 is where you see Brad Delph and Justin Vandermerel. Row number 7, Jacob Feskinen and Garrett Hess, another rookie there in the 14th position. Zach Nernberger, Cody McCorkle in row 8. Row 9, James Kugler, the Georgia driver, and Chris Travis. Craig Martin, Greg Carr in row number 10. Row 11, the potential champion tonight, Matthew Weeks. If he can get out with a certain lead in the points, he will be crowned champion here this evening. Row 13, or make that row 12, Casey Carrington, John Kreindler, one of Casey's worst qualifying efforts. Josh Dillon, Robert Colgan, row 13. Row 14, Justin Ray, Nick Terrell, Gus Moody, and Larry Knoll will take the 30 spots in this race here this evening. Going to be kind of a shorter pace lap because, well, looks like they're actually going to extend this pace lap 1 lap. So we do get a minute to watch the cars out here on the track as they work their way down the back straightaway. There you see Alex Carr up in the 10th position. Mark Whitley, who's been running part-time throughout. Of course, the first race he ran, he actually subbed for a driver, and then he went out in his own efforts a couple weeks ago. And, of course, he's won the 2 races he started at, one being Watkins Glen. Won that race just a couple of weeks ago. And the other race he won was actually at the Richmond Raceway. So he's 2 for 2. Can he go 3 for 3 as he starts from the pole? And oh, by the way, Phoenix is probably the closest track you will find outside of Iowa that races like Richmond. Long straightaways, short track type corners. Of course, these cars, a lot of front downforce, not a lot in the rear, so you'll have to be very careful of that. Geico restart zone, you notice, is in the middle of turn 4, so that's going to also play a role as we come to the green flag. 2 races to go, and we go green from Phoenix. Guess I should turn my audio down. Our cameras tonight presented by TrackCams22.com. You can check them out online. You can check them out on Facebook. They're in the iRacing forums. TrackCams22.com is their website. As around goes Finley Fitzsimmons. Last week's winner. Justin Ray involved. I saw Matthew Weeks, the points leader, get some damage. What happened? Finley, we're up there and going for second. And he's just going to get loose off the corner. Cold tires. Trey Holmes gets a big piece of it. Justin Ray back there spins around himself. Not sure if Finley locked it down or not. It looks like his car's just rolling the whole entire time here. Everybody just kind of scatters around. Let's go on board with somebody here. Let's go on board James Kugler here and see what he sees. Just goes to the bottom, misses out. Nice job on his part. Mentioned Trey Holmes was involved in this. Trying to see that. Who's that red blue? It's the 40. Is that the 49 of Sean Cassidy? That also gets damage. So about 4 or 5 cars involved on a lap 1 accident. Well, if you're Finley, after coming off one of the biggest races in your career, to get that win last week at the race in Texas there at the Legacy track to go to victory lane in that race, and now to have this happen, unfortunately for him, a tough break for that team. As the timing and scoring gets caught up here in a second, it will shortly. And you'll see it'll pop back up to Mark Whitley being the leader of this race. Yeah, it should be a quickie yellow, so we should be able to get one to go really quickly here. 10 viewers watching already. Appreciate that. It might be the largest amount of people I've had for a race that technically isn't live. I do appreciate that, though. One to go, lights are on. Or lights are off, I should say. Oh, the drivers. Guess you guys got nothing to do on a Saturday. I appreciate that. That's cool. I mean, heck, it's obviously when you're sick for a weekend, it's like you realize that, like, how quickly you miss, like, being able to do stuff on the weekend. So, like, right now I feel awesome after last weekend. Oh, I could barely move at this point last weekend, and yet I was sitting here doing stuff. All right, going to come back to the green flag. Mark Whitley, Zach Rogers, Jonathan Cutlip. Silvers and Bloom going to be your top 5. Whitley into the Geico restart zone. Back to green, lap 4. See if these guys can get all sorted out there after a little bit of a weird start, if you will. Everybody so far through turn 2, down the back straightaway, which used to be the front straightaway. Battle on for 5th. Tyler Burden inside, down to the apron. The dogleg section there inside of Alex Carr from the 1 car. Van der Morel there behind him. Back here, Nürnberger, Garrett Hess. There's the 89 of Feskinen right there trying to get around Van der Morel in that Kellogg's Kyle Busch machine. Whitley already out to about an 0.8 of a second lead. Surprise Casey Carrington's not. Oh, the 2 gets into the 13. Carrington's going to get a piece of it also. McCorkle into the back of Kugler. And caution number 2 is out. I was just about to say I'm surprised Casey's not running a Red Bull paint scheme considering Kane won in a Red Bull car here. Left front damage on the 2. Let's see what happens here. I think it's just a matter of just missing your marks here, because this is one of those tracks where you can get back to the gas too quickly or on the brakes too late and get in the back of somebody there. You can add the 22 to the list. The 51 of Travis gets a little damage also there. Let's watch. I want to go on board Kugler's deck lid here. Cody just gets back to it a little too quickly. Into the wall he goes. As you saw, Casey Carrington had a pretty good view of this. See, Kugler gets to the bottom here pretty quickly. Kind of chops the nose of the 2, but no harm, no foul there. But then just momentum. Casey does a great job saving it. 22, you see, gets some left front damage. So second caution out. Emma 21408, appreciate you watching. Breezy 53, appreciate you watching. All the drivers who are probably here watching. That's actually a team name for those who don't know. There's something I'm actually trying to do as we're talking here. Thank you. Appreciate you verifying who you are. Tyler Burden, everybody. Should get one to go this time by. I cannot confirm or deny that. I am merely the broadcaster. I'm supposed to be unbiased up here in the booth, or in my bedroom, I guess, here. Yeah. Is this one ready? No. There's a certain button on my timing and scoring that I'm trying to find. So this will actually help me in this broadcast. I can't find it, Carlton. Pace car light's still on, so one to go this time. Well, by the way, the first 10 laps have gone. I'm not sure many have. I mean, we already got what? One didn't start. 1, 2, 3, 4 behind the wall already. Maybe this is it. I don't know. We're going to find out, aren't we? Nope, that's not it. Never mind. So as I mentioned, Phoenix can be a very fun track to race. Unfortunately, though, it can be raced like a short track. And that's where you have issues like you've had these first 2 cautions already in this race. But still plenty of time to get it cleaned up and rocking and rolling. As we go back to green. And I see everybody separating out. Caution must be out. And gray car has gone around. Nope, that's not gray car. It's Josh Dillon. It's 12 car. And caution out for a third time. See what happens to Josh. Oh, the 13 drives it in there pretty deep. Another Phoenix move right there. Josh does a pretty good job keeping off the wall. Very easy to do at this track is to send it down to turn 1. Kugler thought he could get the momentum into the corner and drives it into the 12, and the Duke Cannon car does a great job staying off the wall. And unfortunately, third caution comes out here at lap 12 in the I do appreciate everybody working with me to at least allow me to try to find what I'm trying to find here, because I'm having a harder time finding this than I was the Stuart Haas Racing Shop in Carolina. Good grief. Aha, found it. See, if you haven't figured it out yet, on a broadcast, when you have a rerun like this, when I do the replay, I can't hit the live button, because if I hit the live button, it'll actually go back to the end of the race. So, like, when I show the replay, I have to just let it keep going from there. So what I'm doing is actually adding in a tool that will let me like when the caution happens, I can kind of play it live and hit a button and it'll move me up a lap, like the cars are behind the pace car or something. That'll actually help me later. All right, so caution out for the third time, lap 15. This Desert Heat 250, and unfortunately for the field, the heat is kind of getting to him early, it looks like here. Matthew Weeks still able to keep his car going after a little bit of contact there early in this race. There he is in the 18th position there for him. All he has to do is leave tonight's race with a certain amount of points lead over Tooker, who, by the way, I don't even see in this field tonight. So that obviously adds to the case of potentially walking away with a championship tonight. All right, pace car lights are off. Mark Whitley's led all 15 laps here so far. Yeah, I talked about Mark for a minute earlier. He has won his 2 races that he has started. You know, we go back to Richmond Raceway in that race that had a couple overtimes in it. Had a 1 or 2 cautions, we'll call it. Leading 87 laps in that race. And then, of course, the Watkins Glen race where he went to victory lane, leading 18 of the 45 laps in that one. As we'll come back to the green flag. Good restart there as Rogers moves down to the bottom of that 4 car, and in the battle going to be side by side here into turn 1 with Silvers and Cutlip. Austin Carr up to the 5th position with Bloom, Vandermeer, Albertin, Travis, and Feskin in your top 10. I'm pretty sure Casey's already given a little pep talk saying, all right, guys, clean it up. Oh, so he did. Okay, he finished second in Charlotte. I forgot he ran that race. Good call on that. That was the race I believe he subbed, did he not? And that's a hell of a YouTube name, by the way. $18 laps. Completes here at the Phoenix Raceway, as Rogers about a half second back from Mark Whitley. You see the Cutlip car. It was at the Glen. Okay, thank you. Everybody pretty much kind of spreading themselves out now a little bit. First battle is going to come somewhere back at Sean Cassidy here. I saw him side by side with the 90, and here comes Weeks. That nose looks pretty clean now. Carrington trying to follow that 11 car up there through the field. Yeah, I'm sure we got some drivers a little frustrated right now as they make some of these passes. We were on board the Nashville winner. Down to turn 3 and 4. You can see him kind of sawing that wheel a little bit here. This car can get very loose off, especially on these flatter tracks. Not as much downforce, obviously, on the rear of the car. So you got to do a little fighting on it. Already cars off the track right now. Garrett Hess, Craig Martin, Cody McCorkle, Trey Holmes, Finley Fitzsimmons, Brad Delph ran all of 3/4 of a lap. And Gus Moody is still stuck in traffic. Whitley has already pulled away to about 1.1 seconds over Zach Rogers. So Whitley obviously showing he's got a pretty strong horse under that car. It is the Richmond car, I believe he has brought here to Phoenix. Alex Carr having a great run so far in his Pennzoil number 1. Got Feskin in there behind him in the 89 car. You can see the right side damage already in that one, so he's been either up against the wall or another car. As you see Van der Morel come into the picture here. That transition in the dog leg is not the smoothest. Very bumpy, and if you get in the right vehicle, you could actually spin the car out if you do it right. You got to be very careful when you go through that corner. Wrong button. Good side-by-side battle. Looks like Van der Morel should be able to hold off Feskin in here. Let's see if he can get down to the white line. You'll know here in a second if you see that 89 pop up in the window there. Looks like he's pretty much cleared in poor position. '51, Chris Travis there in that Lowe's number 51. I was about to say Chevrolet, but these people run so many different car mates and models here. We got Lexus in, we got Porsches. The only thing we don't have is a Fiat. Ooh, a little leaning on each other there. Nurnberger and Travis, a little swapping of the paints, if you will, there. Matt Stewart there in the 13th position in this battle here for 11th. Phoenix producing that side-by-side racing that you're starting to see here. A little bit of spread out. You can... The bottom lane right there, turn 3 and 4 is where you got to be. But turn 1 and 2, with it being so sweeping, you can actually use a good portion of the track. You can almost diamond the corner. You see the one already up there towards the top of the track, and you can kind of bring it off and hold that car down. And it funnels to the back straightaway. As Weeks tries to put pressure on the one car up front. Zach Rogers here holding off Cutlip right now. As Zach about 2 seconds back from Mark Whitley, who's led all the laps so far in this race. Got 3 early cautions, otherwise been some good racing here the last 20 laps or so. As these two continue to fight it out for the 9th and 8th positions. Weeks and Alex Carr. See, if you're a hardcore race fan, you might understand where I'm coming from with this. So, when you watch a race at a track on TV, you'll always notice that there's certain cameras that they use at certain tracks, and you can kind of, again, if you're a hardcore racer, you can pick out which track is like which by just seeing the cameras. You know that it's like, all right, this is Charlotte, this is Richmond, Bristol, sort of like that, right? So when they flipped this track and made the back straightaway to front stretch, the back stretch is in the wall. Van der Morel looks like maybe broke something in the right front and has kept himself up in the wall. I saw the sparks, but, I don't see any more sparks. I think he's okay. Just some damage on the A car, scraped it up. But where I'm going with this is, like, when they did the flip at Phoenix, did anybody else get the look of, okay, this camera kind of reminds you of Richmond? And it's like another comparison you could say to that track, because, like, I say that because here's how, I guess, nitpicky I am of things. You got this back straightaway camera here, and then you got a camera that usually sits over in turn 3 looking back towards the back straightaway, which kind of reminds you of Richmond. And then the way the corner cameras are right here. And then there's, the front straightaway at Richmond, how it kind of sweeps around. It's like Phoenix has become a big Richmond. As here's an Indy car of Matt Stewart inside of Nürnberger. Was not able to make the pass. As a matter of fact, Nürnberger was able to drive underneath the 51 now. Takes the momentum from that top side and kind of slides up and takes the pass away. So let's move Zach up to the 10th position. Great run for him. He's had a mostly up and down season on his part. Chris Travis trying to make some moves there, top side. Oop, easy. Stewart gets a little loose. Carrington right there with him. Also, Van der Morel, who's got that damage. Been trying to find other battles on the track, but this has been the battle right here. Like these guys right here in this spot. All right around the top 10. Three sets of tires as always on these cars. Up front, Whitley continues to pull away. And continues to be one of the faster cars on the track. Check back here, Austin Bloom, couple rookies, Bloom and Burden. Austin having one of his best races of the season so far here. One of the cool things about this ARCA car is the way these setups are made on iRacing, and even if it's a custom setup, a lot of wheel usage and a lot of offset in these cars. And if you're one that likes to use the offset, you'll notice, like here, let's watch Burton down the back straightaway. Look at, he's got his wheel at about 1 o'clock. You know, some of these setups, you'll get the wheel with a lot of turn in it already. You know, I'm one that likes to have the wheel straight up at 12 the whole time. So you'll see me, like if you get into a race and the offset says, hypothetically, he's at -4, and it's way over at 1:30, 2 o'clock on the wheel, I'll go to like -12 to get it back to 0. You know, some people like it feel-wise. Some people, as you see Burden drive it in there, gotta watch out for the inside wall. Some people like to actually work with the skew in the wheel. These guys fighting pretty hard here. I'm getting work phone calls. I ain't answering. They go by Larry Knoll there in the Coca-Cola car. I like that paint, Larry. So as we go longer and longer into this run, the tougher and tougher it gets to make passes, because the tires obviously start to wear a little bit here. Handling comes into play. So that's where you got to start looking at pit stops here and seeing where you come to pit road and when. Carrington trying to get underneath Travis for position. Oh, getting tight. It's one of the hardest ways to pass here at Phoenix, is because, you know, if you're Casey on that inside, you're unable to slide all the way up to that 51 car. And when you do that, it kills your momentum and it lets the outside line get a run there. And that's how Travis was able to maintain this time, though. Casey will complete the pass, but not only that, here comes the 90 now of Stewart. And apparently everybody wants to call me now. So 50 laps in the books there, as you see the 51 and 90 continue their battle there. Look like 90 might have got the wall there off the corner. John Kreidler up 10 spots there in that black and green 99. I kind of like, oh, Van der Rel's loose. And he holds on to it. Oh, Tony the Tiger just had a save. Watch this bad boy. Oh, right there, 90 gets loose. They go into 3 and 4 here. They're great. At least there it was. I think I'm ahead back a couple laps. Let's just go on to where we were. Nick Terrell, James Kugler, Sean Cassidy all in here. There's a gray car, the 25 back there, and then the 12 that was involved in a spin earlier. Let's check on Mark Whitley up here. 74 car. It's out in Tucson right now. 3.3 second lead. And now Stewart and Kreidler are going to battle it out here for 13th. As I look, most cars have not been to pit road, obviously. A lot of them came in at the lap 8 caution, it looks like. We've been green here since about lap 15, so 40 laps. So still got another 20 or 30 on a tank of fuel, so obviously plenty of time to go here in this race. When this being 250 kilometers and roughly about 175 mile race. Yeah, that's a fair point there. I'm assuming this is Mark. Yeah, the different lines that everybody's running is, I mean, look at this. Austin all the way at the top, or not Austin, but Alex all the way at the top of the track here. I mean, all the different lines you see at this track is kind of what makes it very interesting. As you see, Whitley leads by 3.6, and then there's Zach Rogers. Rogers kind of running a half car up in 1 and 2 there. Cutlip putting it right down the yellow line. Don't be surprised to see some cars down below. Up caution is out. Matt Stewart has gone around over here in, looks like the dogleg area there. So after a long green flag run, we get our 4th caution here at lap number 57. I don't see any damage on the 90, so let's see if he got a little help or if he just got a little loosey-goosey. Back here, got the 99 there behind him. The 51's with him. Oh, Travis gets loose up top there and kind of hits a tail whip on him. Noses it down into the inside wall. Little hip check. Oh, look how pace car cutting out in front of the field. This is one of those deals here where I want to watch this closely. There might have been some netcode contact as Travis tried to get around and he lost the back end. Either that or he tried to cut the right. Let's see if I can do this in a slow-mo. It almost looks like maybe he tries to turn right for, there's some contact. Right here, maybe cuts the wheel right and cuts it back left. It causes the back end. I mean, I can't tell from that angle. It's just kind of tough. Either way, though, caution is out. And pit stop's happening. Four tires and fuel, everybody here with their 3 sets. And no, did Rogers get Whitley? It's going to be close. That line's right there at the exit of the stall. We'll see here if... Oh, Rogers isn't checking up, so I think Zach beat him off pit road, unfortunately, there for the 74. Alex Carr, Nick Terrell stay out. They're coming to pit road now. right, so first person to lead today, not named Mark Whitley, is, well, actually, it was Alex Carr. The second person is Zach Rogers. Rogers, the champion from Season 3, still looking to get victory number 1 this season. He's had some good races. It's obviously why he's up in the top 5 in points, but the biggest mover in this race by far is this guy back here in the 4th position. The Mountain Dew car got involved in that first wreck. But after that, he's kind of been clean, got the car fixed if there was any fixing needed. Rogers going to take the inside line as we go back to green. Here at lap number 61. In this Desert Heat 250, flash bulbs, a lot of camera people apparently in the crowd as we go back to racing. Cutlip, great restart there. Whitley kind of at a disadvantage up there on that top side, and now Weeks is going to try to get to his inside. Austin Bloom, Tyler Burden right back there behind him, 5th and 6th right now. Carrington gets a little hip check there. Feskinen smacks the inside wall and the caution's back out. Little chain reaction. Carrington got a little high, had cranked too much wheel in it, and unfortunately the old tail whip. And Feskinen was coming up the track and bada bing, bada boom, chain reaction. Let's see what happens here. I think it's exactly what you're going to see. The 9 car is going to kind of slide up the track here. He's going to have to crank a little wheel into it, and he, right to the edge, his tail whips down into the 89, and ouch. Oh, add Nick Terrell to the list. He puts himself in the wall trying to miss the wreck. So unfortunate break there. So obviously with pit stops just happening, not going to see these cars on pit road. The other question now is, do they have enough time and enough of laps, I should say, to save the fuel to go all the way on this part? Because right now you're looking at almost 90 laps on a tank. Highly doubtful. Because a normal, like 100% cup tank will not go 100 laps. But with enough cautions here, you never know. For you ARCA guys watching, I do invite you to stick around. Coming up after this broadcast, about 30 minutes after, go take a little break, and then come back and do the Pocono IndyCar broadcast that I have still to do from a couple weeks ago that I was going to do last week, but health sickness had another thing in line for me. Today all about catching up on broadcast, apparently, for me. And on some college football on my phone, watching it down below, and doing the broadcasting and getting caught up so that I can sit back and enjoy the rest of the weekend. And we'll get one to go this time by. So let's look here. I want to pop up the points here real quickly while we got a minute. Let's take a look at some other potential battles we have going on, because we've talked about Weeks and Tooker up here. Weeks, obviously, if he gets a good finish, likely to wrap up the championship in this race with Tooker not here. Carrington and Rogers about 13-point separation, and it goes down here. And then look at this battle right here from 6th, 7th place down. Burden, Holmes, Dillon, Kyle Hall, who's not here, Austin Bloom, all these guys within 25 to 30 points, all the way down to 13th position in points. So this middle section right here has a lot of give and take right here in this battle. So we'll have to keep an eye on that, especially as we go to Homestead next week. And we've gone single file, part of the new rule here. If you get a caution immediately after a caution, single file restarts, old school style here, back racing. That's actually an iRacing call you can make. Colgan down into the bottom, 3 wide. Silver's making a pass on both of them there in that Bass Pro Shops tracker truck car. Whitley already back up to the second spot. He's gone around Cutlip. Vanderell got that car all kind of tidied up there, and he's back out on track. Rogers trying to hold off so far the guy who's been the fastest out here. Mark Whitley there at 74, putting all the pressure on. Try that high groove. He got there. Oh, Zach almost shut the nose off. Mark with the perfect crossover move here. Can he get it to stick? He does, to the apron. As Austin Bloom is going around. And caution at lap 70. This looks like it's going to happen over in the dogleg area. Oh, back end is going to come around. Oh. Once again, good job by everybody to miss him. Just a little too much gas coming off the corner. Back end swings around. Then he has to lock it down, trying to overcorrect it. as Bloom continues on. All right, this could be some interesting strategy calls here. Cutlip going to come to pit road with Weeks and Van der Morel. Wonder if the card is opened up. Your chance here to go the rest of the way on fuel. Cutlip been up there in the top 5 all afternoon. Definitely showing that he's got the talent to drive a car. We'll look over here in the Discord. Don't see anybody hanging out. So I was going to see if anybody was hanging out. Pull them down here and talk to them, but nobody's hanging out. All good. So should get one to go this time by and be back at it again next week's Homestead, the final race of the season. Question going to be, will we have a champion tonight? Will we not? And we, of course, get into the Christmas season. I'm going to warn you in advance. There will probably not be many captain broadcasts during Christmas time. As most people know, I do work for a delivery company, and that time of the year, yeah. All right, another single file restart here coming. 82 laps to go, just about to the halfway point of this race, which would be lap 78. So you can basically say halfway. These cars are scraping the wall trying to get to the top side. James Kugler up here in the 13th position after being involved in a spin earlier. Looking good in that 13 car right now. Tyler Burden up to 3rd. But a lot of these guys playing the tire strategy right now. Look at Justin Ray was in a little spinneroonie earlier. Up front, Mark Whitley has gone to the lead. As he, let's go back and look past Rogers a lap ago. Right here, start finish line. And just slides up and completes the pass. We'll have to keep an eye now on these guys that came in, topped off. As I see it, it looks like Cutlip is the farthest up of those who did come to pit road there. In that 28 cars, one car off the pace. Literally, Alex Carr. Not sure what happened to the Pennzoil one, but he is off the pace. Didn't see if he spun or not. But Justin Reagan trying to hold off this 28 car. Oh, hold on. Got a little loose there. Jonathan had to settle down there for just a second, but nobody really getting away from anybody right now here as we're passing the halfway point. Whitley only about a half second on Zach Rogers, who's got about a half second on Tyler Bird, who's got about a half second on Zach Nernberger, who's got less than a half second on John Kreidler. And then Cutlip continuing to battle with Ray here. It shows you the importance of track position at a track like Phoenix. Nernberger able to get around Kreidler for the 5th position. Zach having a great run tonight. As I mentioned earlier, Zach's had kind of an up and down season. Looking to end this thing on a positive note. So this battle going on here and then back here towards mid-pack. Oh, you see both Carrington and Bloom both almost get the wall at the same time. Unfortunate for Carrington. He is not having one of his better runs tonight after getting involved earlier in an incident there. And then, of course, the move a few minutes ago with Feskinen put him in the back. And Casey right now 17th position there for the boss man. So Whitley out to about 0.7 of a second on Rogers and Burden, and then Kugler, and then these guys here, Nernberger, Kreidler, Colgan. Right on board to 36 here. Different grooves everyone's running. Up, caution back out. And Alex Carr has gone around over here, turn 2 backstretch area. A little bit of nose damage on the Pennzoil Chevrolet. Let's see. Back end damage also. Oh! I wonder if he went for a little spin and then the 22 just came and finished him off. Oh, no, the 48 checks up. He gets turned by the 1 and clobbered by the 22. I think Alex was trying to check up to allow Austin all the room to catch it. And unfortunately for him, there was another car behind him coming. Watch this again. Austin gets loose off the corner. Alex has such a good run. He tries to check up, gets in the back of him. But here comes the 22 and just, well, bad angle here, unfortunately. Let's try this one more time. But Craig Martin, nowhere to go. Craig out on track still. Probably going to need to come to pit road to get that all fixed up. And Mark Whitley has come to pit road here. The strategy. Feels like he can go the rest of the way on fuel here. I like the call. One of those deals where once you feel like you can make it all the way and you got a fast enough car, make the move. Don't hesitate. He brings Burden, Kugler, Stewart, and Kreidler all with him. Robert Colgan come to pit road. So did Nurnberger. So that's going to pretty much cycle around everyone who pitted at that last caution. Those guys are now going to be the leader of this race. And the only people who have stayed out now with that strategy, Zach Rogers and Sean Cassidy, actually have not pitted on either of the strategies. So they've got their own little deal going on here. And Zach will restart the leader. Sean will be P3. All right, pace car lights back off here. Typical Phoenix type of race here, seeing all these different strategies with the cautions involved. right, Rogers going to lead him back to the green here. 67 laps to go. Rogers, Cutlip, Weeks, Cassidy, Silvers. Nobody. Back. Do want to say, oh, 3, almost 4 wide down to turn 1. Do want to send a shout out, Joseph Carr, admin, sending me the replay this morning. Able to get this broadcast on there for you guys. I would show you a pit stop of his, but when you're the admin, oh, Cassidy and Carrington wreck. Colgan. Greg Carr also involved. I was going to say, when you're the admin, you don't have to make a pit stop unless you go to the bathroom. So problems on the restart. That car's killed. Cassidy, unfortunately, out there just trying to survive here. Let's see what gets him crossed up. You know what he has to check up, and it looks like the 17 sends him. Great job by Nurnberger to miss that. Adds the 12 to it. Nick Terrell gets in it. Let's see if what I think happened. He had him pushing. He was pushing him down the straightaway. And unfortunately, the 8 checked up, and it caused the 49 to check up. And as we know, cautions breed cautions. The attrition rate in this race, I'm looking down at the drivers who are out of this race right now. Yeah, Josh Dillon, 19th right after that wreck. Sean Cassidy, 20th. Casey Carrington, 21st. Craig Martin, 22nd. You got Feskinen, Travis, Hess, McCorkle, Holmes, Fitzsimmons, Brad Delph. So we're looking at 16 cars on the lead lap right now. Only 18 left on track out of the 30 that started. You know, one of the cool features about this Phoenix Raceway, that cactus right there with the light on it. You see it goes out, means we'll go green this time by. You know, the reason why they swapped straightaways here at this track is basically, if you remember all those older races at Phoenix, you always had the sun setting over in turn 1. Well, think about it. You had all that crowd sitting out in those grandstands in weather that could range from 60, 70 degrees to 100, depending on how hot it was and what time of the year it was in Phoenix. So what they decided to do was flip the track and build the grandstands to where the backside was where the sun would be. So basically, as the sun is over on the turn 1 side of the track, or now turn 3 and 4, the grandstands would be in front of the sun. Everybody's in the shade. Keeps them kind of cooler and hydrated. As we come back to the green flag, 61 laps to go. I was waiting on somebody to do what Kugler just did. Nobody's really gone to the bottom at all for the restart. Yeah, you want to protect the top. But when that green comes out, go to the bottom. Get the shortcut around the track. Bottom shorter way, right? And caution's back out. Robert Colgan. And looks like the 99 of Kreidler involved in Justin Ray's on his lid. Let's see what takes place here. Oh, Nürnberger gets in there also, 38 to... Unfortunately, more calamity. Justin flips a lot. That's a good highlight. Let's see this again. I mean, 4 wide here going to turn 1. And Nürnberger just goes up into the 99. Not sure if he knew he was 4 wide. Larry Knoll gets a piece. Silvers comes in there hot. All right. Adult supervision might be advised for this one. I can get the camera to flip over real quick. No pun intended. Flipped a lot. He flipped 1.5. I do give him credit for the Tony Hawk slide. All right, so let's watch again with Nürnberger. Well, you know what? It don't look so... And I'll tell you why this is here in a second. So when you watch this replay, we had this happen Wednesday night at Michigan too. And let me go to the blimp on this. Shout out to Mr. Pace, by the way, who seems to like my talking about Rex and explaining what's going on here. So you got the 99 up there, who's below the 48, and you got the 31 here. So the question becomes, where's the corner start? So from this angle here, from the angle we showed a little bit ago, it looks like 31 comes up on the 99. But what you're going to see is the 99 is actually going to work his way and go into the corner shallow because he's got the 48 to his inside or outside. The problem here is the 48 is in a spot, or the 99 is in a spot with the 31 to where he goes in shallow and the 31's there. And that's where the contact happens. There's 25 gets damaged. 94 is going to unfortunately clobber Kreidler. And then Justin Ray is going to have his unfortunateness. Larry Knoll locks him down. And James Silvers comes in there hot. And that brings the caution out. And that's not accurate. Why did it just do that? See, here's where... I hate when it does this. Well, this is helping me a little bit. We were at lap... here? I hit one button and went to the damn finish. Okay, yeah, here's correct. So we're good. All right, back to where we were. Wait a minute, this will all update itself here in a second, or it should. All right, so Rogers, Cutlip, Weeks, Vandermarel, and Kugler now your top 5. And there are cars all over pit road trying to get damage fixed or whatever they can do to get things fixed. All right, lights still on the pace car here. Again, if you're a fan of open wheel racing, about 30 minutes after this broadcast ends, I will broadcast the Pocono IndyCar race from VOR. It was from a couple Saturdays ago that unfortunately, when I got sick last week, I wasn't able to broadcast. I was going to do it, but then I got sick. And we'll do that coming up here about 30 minutes after this race ends. Insert Casey Carrington sarcasm joke here. And trust me, the race is not over. Just the results have not fixed itself yet for some reason. All right, lights are off. One to go this time by. Oh, that was not the button I wanted to hit. Everybody's paint scheme's going to load back up. All right, 57 laps to go next time by. And another single file restart. We'll go back green. There we go. A little magic sometimes you gotta do. Mark Whitley up to the 3rd position. Vanda Morel back up to 4th after his issues early in this race. Whitley outside of Cutlip here for 2nd. Gonna make the move. He's got the fresher tires. And by a couple laps there, and he goes by the 28 now. So Zach Rogers, who's trying to go to victory lane for the first time this season, has a car that's been arguably the fastest right there behind him. Able to paint it right down on that yellow line. Let it drift out to the outside wall. And Tyler Burton has gone around over in turn 1. Or turn 3 and 4, I should say. Sorry. Near the front stretch. And that brings a yellow out again for the Demon. Six was running pretty good throughout the night there into 3 and 4. Let's see it. Just back end's going to come around. Locks it down. Just a little self spin there, bringing out the caution again. Watch one more time here. Once again, looks like maybe just got to the throttle too quickly. Caution comes out. All right, I'm going to step away here for just a quick second. All right. See, pace car light's still on here, so we'll have one more lap at least before we get the green flag in as part of the race. Poor Casey Carrington must be pretty busy right now. Sent me a message at 1:06. I asked him where the video was or whatever. I didn't realize that Joseph had sent it to me already in the email. He sent me a message at 1:06, so about 40 minutes ago. Sorry for the wait. You should have got it last night. You must not know I'm broadcasting it right now. Poor Casey. That guy's a busy man. Credit to him. Shout out to everybody in this league, by the way. Been one of the fun leagues I've had a chance to broadcast here recently and stuff. And be a part of Season 4 has been cool. Can't wait for Season 5. Hopefully I'll be able to get these little work kinks out of the way. But they've been very cooperative with me, allowing me to come in here the next day and broadcast the races for them. And I do everything I can to make them look as live as possible. And for those who are watching, they're like, wait, this isn't live? Oops. I'm live, if that makes you matter. I'm actually sitting here calling the race. The race itself happened last night. All right, pace car going to pull in. And oh, by the way, I know nothing of what happened at all. I keep away from results. I keep away from all that stuff purposely. Because then I feel like it ruins the whole broadcast for everybody. So Rogers leads Whitley, Bloom, Krugler, and Weeks, your top 5 as we come back single file to the restart here. Like I said earlier, I'm surprised none of these cars, as soon as they hit the restart zone right here, are cutting to the bottom. I mean, because think about that shortcut right there, and you get across that line. Ooh, almost some contact there with Cutlip and Carr. Cooler heads prevail there. Oh, and then Cutlip gets loose. Jonathan, who's been up top 5 almost all afternoon and evening, having some issues in that Camry, trying to get it back to the front. Unfortunately, you got to let patience come to you. Oh, and around goes Weeks and Bloom. Oh, and Noel clobbers him. What in the world happened? Oh, contact off the 13. And Weeks, unfortunately, wrong place, wrong time. And Austin Bloom, right place, wrong time. That's one of those changes kind of went up into Austin, it looks like there. Just a tough spot. And fortunately for some of these guys, I'm noticing that they are just not getting on the brakes quick. I know it's a joke that they call ARCA brakes, but it's a lot of people not checking up quick enough, it seems like. Watch this again. Well, we're not perfect. You know, unfortunately, I've lost count of cautions. We have 45 laps to go. See, iRacing has done something in this track that I think they should work on when they modify other tracks or update them and that kind of thing, that they should do. And on this track, believe it or not sure if we'll see the winner do it tonight, or maybe if Weeks can get back to the top here and get the championship. Something that we can see is you can actually drive now to victory lane on this track. And this isn't like the easiest victory lane. It's not like one right on the front straightaway. You actually got to go into the infield to get to it. And it's one of the rare tracks that they've actually set it up to where right over here in this area, you can actually turn left and drive up into the victory lane area and do it. I think that'd be really cool to see iRacing maybe open up that box to other tracks, to where, like, wherever their actual victory lane is, you open up a specific garage, or not garage, but a lane that allows you to go to there. I think that'd be kind of cool to see. You know, like I said, there's some tracks, Richmond, or no, actually Richmond's not one anymore. It used to be. Let's see, Auto Club, Michigan, Martinsville, to name a few, all have victory lanes on the front straightaway, or right there in the grass on the front straightaway. So the attrition rate looks like this now. 13 cars left on track. Looks like actually Josh Dillon's joining back in right now, so he'll be 14. I should say it was more than 14. We got 15, 6, 17 cars on track. However, only 14 on the lead lap. As we get one to go, it's definitely been attrition here at Phoenix. I know the guys in this league have been kind of talking about the short tracks and things like that and how they can fix this. This is a tough situation that they run into here, and there's so many different arguments and battles that people can go over and talk about, but in the end, it's almost like a cat chasing its tail, if you will. And I'm sure Casey and the guys will come up with a good solution here before next season, of course, when we go back to the shorter tracks. And even if that means limiting some of the short tracks, then you got to do what you got to do. All right, Rogers, and this ain't even a short track technically, brings him back to the green. Whitley's been pressuring him all night. James Kugler looking to upset the apple card. Alex Carr in fourth, Greg Carr in fifth. Where's that viewer at that likes that family? Oh, and Alex is up in the wall. We drove it up in the wall like he popped the right front or something. How about some of these cars up here now? Nick Terrell up in the 6th position right now, having his best run of the season after being involved in a couple of little skirmishes. But here is the battle for the lead. And Whitley sends it into turn 1 and 2 and takes the lead. A little slide job for Rogers. And right on cue, the broadcaster's jinx hits. Nick Terrell spins turn 1. Sorry, Nick. Looks like a little 3 wide there, and Unfortunately, it looks like Nick's spotter didn't really tell him and drove down the corner, and Alex was there. They weren't technically 3 wide, but they were running 3 different lanes, and with the different entrances into the corner causes what looks to be a 3 wide skirmish. All right, so Whitley getting the lead there. Less than 40 laps to go. 22 of Craig Martin getting a lucky dog. Unfortunately, 15 laps down, so he needs a few more cautions. Not saying there's a chance, but there's a chance. And light's still on, so we get one to go likely. Next time by. So let's look at the rookie point standings. Got Josh Dillon, Trey Holmes, Robert Colgan, Tyler Burton, all within 11 points of each other as of right now. And a very interesting scale of points of how this is all done, basically, is the highest scoring points guy gets 10, all the way down to 1 each week. And that's how they do the rookie standings. And of course, last week at the Texas Motor Speedway, Tyler Burton scored a 10. And that helped him get up there and gain some points on the points leader. But that makes it very tough when you're a rookie, because if you're, having a rough race and you end up finishing like last and you're the worst of, say, 10 rookies, then you're looking at a spot to where you almost eliminate yourself from Rookie of the Year contention here. You got to get out there and start winning races or whatever, the way the structure is. But that's where you got the 4 guys within 11 points of each other right now in the Rookie of the Year standing. So when it gets to Homestead next week, it's going to get very interesting. Actually, as I think about that, you would only have a 3-person race now, because if 10's the most you can get, the guy who's 11 backs out. As we go back green here, 34 laps to go. Yeah, so it's a 3-horse race now for the Rookie of the Year title. Or Rookie of the Season, whatever you want to call it. Matthew Weeks, who's been involved in a couple accidents tonight, looking for the 5th position for Matt Stewart. And it looks like Weeks will complete that pass there off turn 4. Little shortcut there through the dog leg. And up the position. Van der Morel up to 4th. How about Cutlip has slowly snuck his way back to 3rd. After kind of struggling there mid-pack a little bit. You can see the different lines on exit as Whitley starts to pull this thing away. Van der Morel with issues. And not sure if he just went for a little spin or whatever through the tri-oval or through the dog leg, but it looks like we stay green. 31 laps to go. James Silver's trying to get around that one car. These two have had plenty of issues on track today. Look at that left front damage on the 17. Mark Whitley looking to make it 75% on the season, but still to have a average finish of, I have to do the math there real quickly, I think it'd be like 1.25 or something like that after 4 races. 3 wins in a second if he can finish this off. As back here, Nick Terrell's going to keep fighting. Inside to 94 for the, what are we looking at here? 11th position, it looks like. Here comes Austin Bloom also in that battle. Gets a real good run and drives that thing down to Scottsdale to try to make a pass. That might not have been the smartest move. I mean, I've seen him go to the apron, but he was down there a little bit. Watch this, boys. Oopsie, wrong button. Watch this 48 car. I can get the replay to stop. He does it next lap here. All right, maybe I went too far back or something. I must have. Oh well. Well, Colgan loses the spot to Terrell. Now Bloom's going to try to get around Colgan himself here, and there's Van der Morel there behind him. As Justin makes the pass there for position. Now going to try to put pressure on Colgan here. There's Alex Carr, Josh Dillon. Great car there behind him. So the two car boys having good runs, 8th and 10th right now. I got to be happy about that. 22 laps to go. Cutlip starting to put some pressure on Rogers for second. Weeks trying to get a part of this battle too. And at this rate right now, if Weeks were to finish where he does, this should officially give him the championship for this season. Of course, that's with David Tooker not being a part of this race. And then the issues to Casey Carrington. Should be exactly what the 11 needs to finish this thing off. As Kugler and Stewart battle for 5th. And Stewart takes that battle away from the 13, who's having a great run. 2 rookies there. How about that? 3 rookies in the top 6. 4 in the top 10. As we hit the 20 to go mark. We've seen our fair share of cautions this evening. But still have seen some great side-by-side racing and battling and people not giving up. Oh, and into the wall goes Silver's hard. Knocks that thing down a little bit. Up front, 0.6 of a second. Whitley to Rogers. As I mentioned, Cutlip there in 3rd, Weeks and Stewart, your top 5. Fourteen cars on the lead lap here. Austin Bloom being the last now in 14th. 18 cars still out there running. As Vandermeer gets around Terrell for position, that's for the 11th spot. Oh, Stewart's fighting it. That car's skating everywhere. Loose on entry, loose on exit. And let's not look back here. Zach Rogers starting to put pressure on this 74. Both of them right down that yellow line. Whitley using a very wide diamond angle, if you will, trying to make the straightaway a little longer. Rogers Rolling about a half a groove up the track. At least in that turn 1 and 2 area as they come through 3 and 4 now. Ten laps to go. Can Rogers do anything? Does Cutlip have anything saved in his tank? Does Weeks have enough to put himself alongside the other champions of this league and be an All American ARCA Series champion? Matt Stewart up here in the top 5 right now, having his best run of the season. There's Stewart trying to hold off Silvers right now for the 5th position. As James gets a little loose. Been the closest battle on track right here between these two. I am keeping an eye on the leader right now. Whitley has extended that lead out to about a half second, a little over a half second right now. Six miles. And Silver's gonna get around Stewart for position. Stewart trying to cross him back over here. He's got the inside lane here in a 3. See if Silver can get back to the throttle quicker. He sure does. That'll allow him to finish that pass off. Austin Bloom's gone around Robert Colgan for 13th. Four to go. So the field's pretty spread out. Unfortunately, Kugler has fallen back into the hands of Greg Carr here in a battle for 8th. Both the cars, Alex and Greg, having great finishes here potentially tonight. A lot of guys getting their best finishes of the season here. Greg trying everything he can here to get around that 13. Got a good run there. Looked like Kugler got tight off of turn 4. And he's going to complete the pass and move the 25 to 7th. And Zach Rogers to pit road, short on fuel. As Whitley takes the final lap. Oh, tough break for Zach. Thought he had enough fuel to make it and could not. Probably expected one or two more cautions. But for Mark Whitley, he just continues on winning. 4 races, his worst finish is second. This is his 3rd win of the season. Mark Whitley dominates at Phoenix. And a 3rd place finish for Matthew Weeks. We'll crown him next week, but officially will be the champion of the All American ARCA Series for Season 4 with a 3rd place run. We'll crown him at Homestead. That's what that's here for. Whitley going to burn it down here. All right, as Whitley burns it down, let's take a look at the finishing order for the race as Whitley wins it over Jonathan Cutlip, rookie finishing in the 2nd position. Great comeback for him. Matthew Weeks, as mentioned, officially becomes the Season 4 champion. We'll crown the championship to him next week in Homestead. James Silvers comes back to get 4th. Matthew Stewart, Greg Carr, Kugler finishing 7th, and I think Whitley's going to victory lane. There it is. Look at this. Yeah, you can go right on into this gray. He's going to burn it down to pit. I like it. Greg Carr 6th, James Kugler 7th, Alex Carr 8th, Justin Vandermeer. Where's he going? Finishes 9th. Josh Dillon finishes 10th. Nick Terrell 11th. Austin Bloom 12th. Robert Colgan 13th. Zach Rogers and Tyler Burden finishing 15th. Craig Martin, Justin Ray, Larry Knoll finishing in the 18th position. 19th goes to John Kreindler, Zach Nernberger 20th, Casey Carrington, Sean Cassidy. All these cars had issues tonight. Jacob Feskinen, Chris Travis, Garrett Hess, Cody McCorkle, Trey Holmes, Finley Fitzsimmons finishing in the 29th position. Unfortunately, not the way you want to back up a victory. Brad Delft 29th, and Gus Moody never took the green flag in the race. So, fantastic race it was. I'm going to look over here real quickly, and nobody's hanging out, so I was going to maybe talk to a driver or two if they wanted to, but nobody's here, so it's all right. We appreciate everybody from the All American ARCA Series for, again, allowing me to step in today to broadcast last night's race, and again, apologize to all the league members, and unfortunately hate when work gets in the way, but, you know, it seems like everybody understands that, and still, though, you feel bad that work gets in the way, but appreciates everybody working with me to allow this to happen, and hopefully Homestead will be able to get that done next week without any issues. So shout out to Casey Carrington, all the admins, Joseph for sending me the replay of the race. Appreciate that. And I've lost his last name in my head because this Alex wasn't here tonight, so now I've lost his last name. Penn, Joseph Penn. Thank you for sharing the replay and stuff with me. So we're going to head out, and again, coming up, let's plan on about 10 till 3. We'll switch over to the IndyCar series and do the VOR IndyCar race from Pocono. So, and get that race all caught up. So hopefully you guys are ready for that. We'll rock and roll and go from there. But great job. We'll see you next Friday night here in Homestead. And remember, this isn't just a game. It's iRacing. See ya.